Yes, Mariners, champions of Australia. And now a chance for victory to equalise. Ben Falami off the bench. His first touch is to bring the game level.
Brings it under beautifully. What a finish by the Glory captain. It's a lovely ball for Valupale on his left foot. The save and Fornaroli into the empty net.
Dangerous pass to the top of the area. It's spilled for Kolakowski. It had to be him. Stefan Kolakowski puts the Glory in front.
Good afternoon and welcome to Channel 10 and Paramount Plus's coverage of the Isuzu Ute A-League. Round 22 continuing this afternoon from Amy Park in Melbourne on the land of the Wurundjeri people. A home side, Melbourne Victory, racing for that top two finish, perhaps still with hopes of another premiership to add to their list of honours. But a victory this afternoon will above all send them 8 points clear of 7th place, with 4 matches left to play and all but assure the Navy Blues of finals football under Tony Popovich. The side standing in their way, Perth Glory, playing pretty much for pride and pride alone at this stage of the competition. They certainly want to stay out of the clutches of the wooden spoon, but with just one away win so far this season for the team from the West, it promises to be another tough afternoon in Melbourne. The last time they met, it was a 5-goal thriller to start 2024, and it was Victory that came out on top that day. Let's have a look at the two sides, and Tony Popovich has made 4 changes from the team that conceded a late draw against Western United before the international break. That was their 11th draw of the season. Adama Traore has recovered from a hamstring strain. He comes in for Connor Chapman. Ryan Teague missed the last 2 games and the Ollie Roos trip to Saudi Arabia with a hip complaint. He returns for Jordi Valadon. And in attack, Ben Falami and Daniel Arzani are both recalled to the starting 11 at the expense of Nishan Valupale and former Perth Glory winger Salim Khalifi. The home crowd looking for the 3 points. Let's have a look at Perth Glory then. Well, with the game on Wednesday night to keep one eye on, Alan Stajic has also made 4 changes. Johnny Katrumbas replaces Josh Rawlins at right back. Trent Osler makes just his 2nd start of the season, his 1st since December, as Mustafa Amini starts on the bench. And the other 2 changes are in attack, where Jaden Gorman makes his 1st ever A-League start, and former Victory forward Bruce Kamau also returns to the starting 11. He was sent off the last time these 2 sides met. David Williams starts on the bench, and Stefan Kolakowski remained back in Perth. Stand By Me, the anthem, and the race for the Golden Boot is one of the real key matchups of this afternoon's clash. Bruno Fornaroli has 15 goals, only 2 though in 2024. They came a double against Adelaide just before the international break, and he will be looking to get the better of his Socceroo teammate Adam Taggart in the Perth ranks. Adam Taggart, the only Perth player to have scored in their last 4 matches. He has 3 in his last 2. And he's just 2 goals shy of Shane Smeltzer's A-League record of 17 for Perth. A certain Damien Murray got 24 when Perth won the NSL title back in 2003. Tony Popovich spent 2 seasons at the helm of Perth Glory, took them to the 2019 Grand Final that they lost at home on penalties to Sydney FC. He's brought with him 5 former Perth Glory players who are on the team sheet today for Melbourne Victory. Alan Stajic, the Perth Glory coach, it's been a difficult first season for him, but one in which he's had to deal with the ownership issues at the club. They've overcome that, they've shown plenty of spirit, but only 1 point from their last 3 matches has cost them surely any chance of finals football. Ben Abraham is our referee, Nathan McDonald and Joey Lee are his assistants. We're underway at Amy Park. It's Perth Glory playing for little more than pride in this season, up against a Melbourne Victory side still with everything to play for this season. Not only looking to confirm their place in finals football, Phil Moss, but perhaps throw their hat into the ring for the premiership at this late stage.
Yes, good afternoon, Robbie. It's something that Tony Popovich wouldn't have given away just yet. Certainly a tall order to get that Premier's plate.
And that's a good intention to start with. The Dama Traore back in the side and a first shot inside the opening minute.
But I think Popper's opening comments with the guys on the panel were telling, just around wanting to start a big run from today's game. 5 games to go, 15 points to play for. Where that takes them is one thing, but getting momentum going into those finals is another thing altogether. So this afternoon's game is absolutely critical to that.
Well, we saw it last season with the Central Coast Mariners, like this incredible force they brought into the finals last year that took them all the way to that incredible 6-1 grand final victory. The Mariners were dealt a bit of a blow to their morale last night by a dominant Sydney FC. And certainly Sydney FC are shaping nicely. It's just a month to go until finals football. It's been a more difficult campaign for Melbourne Victory, thanks mostly to those 11 draws. They've struggled to get that winning momentum, despite the 15 goals from Bruno Fornaroli.
Yeah, and that's another statistic really that's playing against Melbourne Victory. 11 draws in a season of 27 games. Really doesn't have Premier's plate written all over it, but if I can get that momentum going to the finals, anything's possible.
The all-time A-League record for draws in a season stands at 12. And it was also a Tony Popovich side, the Western Sydney Wanderers. Here's Ben Falami, scorer of the winner in Perth between these two sides. Mashash. Oh, he thinks he was fouled.
I'm happy with that decision. I think Bruce Kamau did well to get his body in, break up the attack. It was Mashash that, in my opinion, committed the crime. But there is still, Robbie, plenty to play for Perth Glory, really. I know it might not be finals football, but new ownership, Stan Lazaridis coming in now as director of football. There's plenty to play for when it comes to new contracts and whether they're going to be part of the future moving forward, these players.
Here's Adam Taggart, who certainly laid a claim for legend status almost at the club in this season, with his goals returning back home. They've picked up 13 points from losing positions so far this season. Taggart, he was just half a yard offside. So have Melbourne Victory, and so have MacArthur. It's a 3-way lead at the top of that table for the Coming From Behind award this season. It also means invariably that they're perhaps slow starters, these two sides.
I was going to say, it's almost like the Fair Play Award, isn't it? That's not the statistic you want to be leading in, because it means you're giving goals away to start with.
Roderick Miranda was looking for probably a Dama Traore, but it just didn't curl back out to that outside channel.
And of course, speaking of Adam Taggart, that's the little subplot that everyone's going to be definitely interested in this afternoon. Taggart v Fornaroli, Socceroo teammates one day, rivals the next. In more ways than one. They're not just in different coloured shirts this afternoon, they're both going for that golden boot.
That's one for the former Victory player Kamau to get to. He got there first as well. Taggart was lurking in the middle. It's cleared by Damien De Silva. Here's Mashash with Miranda. You can hear Jason Guerrier calling Roddy for the ball. He finds Daniel Arzani. Inside, he was looking for Mashash. Those two have developed a great understanding this season. Jake Brimmer looking to finally cement his place in the starting 11 as we get to the business end of the season as well. That's a good ball Nice little turn away from trouble from Fornaroli as well. Closed down by the 19-year-old Majeka Dumni. Teague with Falami. Traore back with Teague. Arzani moving the ball quickly in tight little spaces. Daniel Benny looks to clear Brimmer. Well, he's earned a free kick. He did just get his head on it, but well, he's backing in, not contesting the ball, isn't he?
No, that's right. I don't tickle when you come down on your tailbone like that. Brimmer would have felt that. There's no doubt. There's good early tempo to this game, Robbie. First 5 or 6 minutes. Melbourne Victory starting to probe down their left-hand side, Perth Glory's right-hand side.
And an early free kick. Jake Brimmer hunched over the ball, but it's Daniel Arzani who may fancy his chances, just putting in a little bit of extra shine around the valve, no doubt. Brimmer steps away. Arzani lines this one up. Straight into the wall. Just hesitated as he was about to start his run-up. Didn't look all that confident, but he's got the ball back again here, Arzani. Gliding past players, now crosses, back post. Warland with the header away under pressure from De Silva, helped out by Daniel Benny. Cleared only as far as Jason Guerrier.
Well, the second phase of that set piece was much better than the first phase. To score from that distance was going to have to be an absolute worldie. A shorter variation would have been the better option from the free kick, but in the end, Arzani found his half a yard to get the cross in.
Falami, who's been excellent off the bench this season, has his chance for the full 90 minutes, or at least for the best part of the 90 minutes, by starting as Kamau's cross is deep beyond Taggart.
Yeah, you make a good point about Ben Falami. He's created 10 scoring chances off the bench this season, including 2 assists. No doubt that's played a part in getting him this start. Can he be as effective from the start as he has been coming off the pine? We'll wait and see.
Jason Guerrier for Mashash, the little touch for Falami, who scored a 96th minute winner at HBF Park when these two sides met. It was their first outing of the new year, back on the 6th of January. Riley Warland with Trent Osler, his first start since the match against Melbourne City back in December. Gorman, and he wasn't looking, he played Colley into trouble, and the free kick's gone Fornaroli's way. Does the referee want a little word with Gio Colley there?
I know it's early, but he's very lucky to get away without a yellow card there. Giordano Colley. It was a cynical foul on Fornaroli, and you can't help but think it would have been a very promising situation for Melbourne Victory.
You've got to be careful not to get too close to Bruno Fornaroli, because he's an expert at turning his play up and facing forward. Latchman with Majeka Dumni. Now up the flank, Johnny Katrumbas. Back in the starting 11, he's been playing second fiddle since the return of Josh Rawlins from the Netherlands. Here's De Silva. Guerrier. Back to the Frenchman, now Brimmer. Little touch for Teague. Oh, he's been caught in possession. Taggart looking for an option. Gio Colley charging forward, touches it beyond Miranda, and it'll be an attacking throw from what was a very promising position for Perth Glory.
Yeah, it was, and that's something Melbourne Victory will have to be careful of. Perth Glory setting up in a 4-4-2 defensive structure, just setting the trap there, and you can see in build-up Guerrier is playing that inverted fullback for Melbourne Victory, just to create the extra number in midfield. If it falls over, there can be spaces that Perth Glory can exploit.
Kamau Might yet fall. It does for Taggart. First shot for Perth Glory only travelled about a yard before it was blocked. But that is the danger that Taggart possesses.
Some excellent defending from De Silva as well. Timed that sliding interception to absolute perfection. Perth just carving out half a chance there for Taggart, and there's De Silva throwing his body in the way. Brilliant defending of the big Victory defender.
It's that desperation you want from your defenders. De Silva again. Out towards Adama Traore. Grimmer, who along with Geria and Fornaroli in their starting 11, former Perth Glory players. Arzani, ball just escaped his control for a moment as Gorman is fouled by De Silva.
Gee, you would have felt the full force of De Silva's shoulder there. As the big defender gets back, just breaks up the play.
8 goals for Perth Glory's NPL side last season. Jayden Gorman, it's his first ever A-League start. 2 appearances off the bench last term with the A-League first team. 4 before today. This season, that's well played in the middle of the park from Gio Colley, but that's less decisive. Osler under pressure with Majeka Dumni, and he's been flattened by Mashash. Foul number 52 of the season by Zinedine Mashash. He's the player that gives away the most.
Nice little stat there, Robbie. But you can see Melbourne Victory are up for this afternoon. The atmosphere's building. Fans are right behind them. The energy's high from Melbourne Victory. Letting Perth know they're in a contest right from the start.
Kamau back with Majeka Dumni. Kamau again. It's nicely worked with Katrumbas. Now looking to release Gorman. It just ran out of play. Adama Traore has done that brilliantly. Clever little touch from Fornaroli. Mashash has just signed a new deal to keep him at Melbourne Victory for the next 2 seasons. He's an absolute crowd favourite with Victory supporters, and I guess when you score in your first 3 big blues, that will just about do the trick. Colley now, scorer of last season's goal of the year in the A-League. Here's Arzani, overlapping run from Geria. Positive take on from Arzani. He went beyond Osler before losing his footing. He thinks he was fouled, and there was a little more in it as Kamau. Great switch of play for Taggart. Little touch for Gorman. Wasn't easy to take in his stride.
Here's that moment down the other end where Arzani takes on Osler. I don't think there's any contact there. I think Arzani goes looking for the contact. Good to see him in a positive frame of mind again, though, getting at his defenders in those areas. That's where he can be so dangerous.
Melbourne Victory fans making plenty of noise. You can just see at the top of your screen there, that travelling support for Perth Glory as well. The North Terrace singing for their side. Majeka Dumni. It's a good ball to pick out Taggart. Here's Wallen. Got Gorman and Kamau ahead of him. Taggart gives it the thumbs up.
Isn't far off being an excellent pass. We just saw one a couple of moments ago, the reverse pass from Bruce Kamau into the feet of Taggart. It amounted to nothing in the end, but it was wonderful vision by Kamau.
failed to score in 9 appearances for Victory last season. Bruce Kamau, he's still looking for his first goal for Perth Glory this year. Arzani again. And again it's Osler in close quarters. Miranda with Mashash, Brimmer and Geria. Ryan Teague back after 2 games missing with that hip complaint that also kept him out of the Ollie Roos trip to Saudi. Nishan Velupillay was part of that squad that made the final of the West Asian Federation tournament, mini tournament it was. That's a good ball and clever little improvisation. Fornaroli able to turn, it's deflected. First blood for Melbourne Victory. And Bruno Fornaroli with his battle with Adam Taggart opens the scoring, goal number 16 of the season for him.
And in the process takes a 1-goal lead over his rival this afternoon on the Harvey Norman replay, Adam Taggart. Look at that for a flick from Daniel Arzani, improvisation. And then Fornaroli in those tight areas just uses his body so well to create the space to get his shot away. Aided by a deflection, he will care zero. Fornaroli, who's so deadly in those areas.
There is the golden boot race. Aussie Bruno in the lead by 1. Melbourne Victory in the lead by 1. 16 minutes gone at Amy Park.
A number of times he receives the ball at his feet with his back to goal in those areas and just finds a way to turn and face the target and get his strike away. It makes him such a deadly finisher.
Eight goals in 12 appearances against Perth Glory now for Bruno Fornaroli as Mashash. It's a great ball for Arzani. The cutback, Fornaroli arriving. And it's brilliant defending from the youngster Majeka Dumni.
Excellent from Majeka Dumni, but just as excellent from Mashash in midfield. Look at that for a way to pass into the path of Arzani, and then he just delays that ever so slightly to let Fornaroli have that extra split second to try and get there. Really excellent stuff from Melbourne Victory.
They've got their tails up, the home side. Mashash again, clever. The back heels are coming out as well. Arzani just goes without it. The white shirts crowding around. They've all been penned back in their own third as they try and break free. Izzo with Miranda. And now Victory can settle things down again.
Once again, Daniel Arzani just showing his array of skills and awareness. We saw the flick, the improvisation for the goal for Fornaroli, and then that delivery into Fornaroli, then you can't coach that stuff. Just the awareness to just delay his delivery by that split second.
There he goes again with Geria. Back with Arzani, looks up, crosses a good ball towards Fornaroli. Latchman's head up, Teague back in again, and Latchman again gets it clear. Miranda with Teague. Falami with Adama Traore. Look at the 2 inverted fullbacks playing as the 2 6s at the moment. Traore and Geria. They've got about 8 players in midfield at the moment, Melbourne Victory. They're going to win that battle as Brimmer lets fly from distance. Saved by Ollie Sale, who asks who's stepping out.
Yeah, good strike from Brimmer. We know he's capable from those areas. He needed more of the far post on that occasion if he was going to really trouble Ollie Sale. But you make a good point, Roy. probably the two fullbacks in those inverted positions. I mean, they were a matter of 2 or 3 metres from each other. And that's all well and good to create the overload in midfield, but if it breaks down in transition, there's plenty of spaces to hit for Perth Glory.
That was a 5th shot already. That goal from Melbourne Victory, that effort from Brimmer, the second on target to go with Bruno Fornaroli's goal. Here he is again. Fornaroli towards Arzani. Latchman with the clearance. Oh, Izzo and De Silva getting in a little muddle, and now Brimmer with the get out of jail card, and they needed it. Now Mashash, and can they turn an almost embarrassing moment into an attack? Not this time.
Well, that almost ended in disaster as we see Izzo come out and play the ball against De Silva. And had Brimmer not been so cool, calm and collected under pressure there, it would have been a reasonably easy strike into an empty net for a Perth Glory player.
Paul Izzo, he's had a good season with Melbourne Victory. But if you come for it like that, you have to be decisive, and as soon as you have that moment's hesitation, it can prove very, very costly indeed. Oh, and Teague, who saw it again there, closed down and Taggart. Well, he obviously thought he saw Izzo off his line and went for the spectacular.
It'll be the tale of 2 technical areas at the moment. Tony Popovic will know how important it is to capitalise on the early running in this game. First 22 minutes, Melbourne Victory have been very dominant. Whereas for Alan Stajic, it's about limiting the damage, weathering the storm, trying to keep it at only 1 goal in arrears.
There's Daniel Benny, but we have a Gio Colli down after taking that ball in the head. There is Tony Popovic, who had that excellent spell at Perth Glory. Oof. Well, he tried to get back to his feet, which is what's a little bit worrying about seeing those pictures.
That's right. They don't tickle when you've turned your head away and caught one in the back of the noggin. A bit of power on it too. Driven pass from Brimmer. Thankfully back on his feet, Colli.
Mustafa Amini just telling the coaching staff that Gio Colli's going to be okay. And then he can sit back down and enjoy watching this very entertaining first half of football so far.
It certainly has been. It's had a good pace, good intensity. The ball speed's been good from both sides. Melbourne Victory certainly dominating the opening exchanges, as the scoreboard also suggests.
Gio Colli rejoins for a Perth Glory, whose last win in Melbourne came back in May 2021. Their only away win last season came on the Central Coast. Their only away win this season came in Sydney against the Wanderers. And if you want to feature in the business end of the season, you have to be winning more than once away from home. Katrumbas with Gorman. 3 to aim for in the middle. Can't make it past Miranda, but Katrumbas does. De Silva's header. Generating the power, but it's with Katrumbas again. Looks up, crosses, and again it's De Silva with the flying header.
A very important one too from De Silva. It was 2v1 on the back post in favour of Perth Glory. The delivery had found that area. dare say Perth would have fashioned a chance on Paul Izzo's goal.
Zani riding the challenge of Benny. Now Brimmer doesn't get past him. Free kick goes Victory's way. It's been a fantastic first season in the A-League for Daniel Benny, who of course burst on to the national scene in that pre-season friendly against West Ham, where he scored. He hasn't scored since then for Perth Glory. And they're on the back foot again here. Arzani. Well, he's looked up, saw Falami crowded out at the near post, and Fornaroli making the run to the back post, but it was beyond everyone in the end.
Yeah, it's a shame he used the run of Falami as a decoy, if you like, to drag the defenders away, and just tried to hang it up to the back post. Again, some wonderful interchange of play from Melbourne Victory to set Arzani away on the right-hand side. There you go, that's quite telling. 101 passes in the opposition half to 46.
This is the Perth Glory side. You can see playing without the ball, who do like to transition, but also invariably slow starters. We mentioned it already. Perhaps even more so than Melbourne Victory, though. Perth Glory are very fast finishers. So many goals scored in the last half hour of matches. They've conceded the opening goal 13 times. Only Adelaide have conceded more, but they've only lost 7 of those, basically half. They have managed to avoid defeat, and generally it's been last-minute equalisers and winners. It was only a 96th minute winner where Melbourne Victory turned the tables on them back in January as well, that cost them a point at home.
Throw another statistic in there to back that up, Robbie. 28 of their 38 goals have been scored in the second half, which puts them top of the pops in the A-League.
Is that another one of those ones where you don't want to be top of that necessarily, that table? Mind you, there's something to be said with coming home with a wet sail. Certainly the fans at HBF Park have been treated to some incredible football and thrilling finishes this season, as Mashash just loses his footing, but Colley goes without it. Arzani with Teague, Brimmer. There's space on this right-hand side. They work it to Mashash. Drives it in towards Fornaroli, cleared by Latchman. They're chasing shadows at the moment, Perth Glory.
They are, and a lot of it comes down to that combination play and the ball speed that Melbourne Victory are able to generate. They look like a team with something to really prove this afternoon.
Here's Darryl Latchman, who had a spell out of the side earlier this season. They're still without Mark Beavers, of course, who was their player of the year last year. Who's still missing with injury. Alexander Shushnyar left at home, despite training normally this week. So too Stefan Kolakovsky. But in terms of their defensive ranks, Jacob Muir is another who's on the bench. Osler. Very nice player profile on perthglory.com.au on Trent Osler at the moment, if you want to learn more about his journey in football and coming back from back-to-back knee reconstructions, amongst other things. There's Latchman. Looks long. Riley Warland trying to play it into the feet of Jaden Gorman. That's a good challenge on Arzani, but there's nobody around to help him out. They're a little bit stretched at the moment, Perth Glory. Victory coming down that right-hand side where Daniel Arzani is. Arzani again. Lovely little scoop over the top for Mashash. Sends it back to the Socceroo, Daniel Arzani. Oh, he's made his way past both. Arzani still was looking for Falami. Mashash taking over. Perth Glory's goal. They've already conceded once, but they're leading a charmed life at the moment. Clever little touch from Taggart, though, for Gorman. Space on the right-hand side, inviting Katrumbas forward. Taggart wants it at the back post. Here's Benny. Takes it beyond Miranda and keeps it in play as well. Taggart at the back post. Guerrier. It looks like it just must have gone out of play.
What about that from Daniel Arzani? Absolutely brilliant. Just looking at the situation, sizing it up and backing his technique to find a way through two defenders. Didn't amount to anything in the end, but that is absolutely what you want from those creative players like Arzani. And then that transition moment for Perth, the ball just getting away from Daniel Benny in the end, but Adam Taggart was at the back post, winding himself up, wasn't he? Praying for the ball to be delivered, but in the end, they've gone out from harm's way for a goal kick.
Just past the half hour at Amy Park. Bruno Fornaroli's goal in the 16th minute, separating the two sides. Arzani and Mashash involved in the build-up for that. It took a deflection off Katrumbas that ensured it beat Ollie Sale in the Perth goal. Not sure it's an assist for Mashash in that one.
I think the real assist was Arzani, wasn't it? The improvisation he showed, it was absolutely class from Arzani. But I think the one thing Alan Stajic will be reinforcing during the break is, still 15 minutes from that break by the way, but those transition moments. Perth, teams dominating like Melbourne Victory have in this first half, you still get your transition moments, but you really have to make them pay.
Well, he's got David Williams on the bench as well, who's another fantastic finisher of transition moments. Izzo looking for Guerrier. Arzani. That Fornaroli goal also means, and this has obviously been Perth's Achilles heel because they've scored plenty of goals, but that's just one clean sheet now in their last 19 matches for Perth. And if they look back and see where their season probably didn't happen for them, they've scored plenty of goals, but they haven't been able to keep them out at the other end. It's goal number 44 they've conceded now. Only Brisbane have conceded more in the A-League this term.
I think you've mentioned the two statistics, Robbie, that is why they are where they are, and that is their inability to win away from home, and the number of goals that they've conceded. I'm sure Alan Stajic, Noel Arate and his staff will be looking deeply into that during the off-season.
And as you mentioned earlier, and Stan Lazaridis now as well, who's joined the club, the proud West Australian, of course.
I think that's a wonderful signing, Stan Lazaridis, to see him in the A-League in a position like Director of Football. It shows that there is belief in this league. He's a wonderful operator, wonderful person, obviously a great servant of the game and the Socceroos. I think he'll add plenty to Perth Glory under that new ownership structure.
plenty of Socceroo experience in that ownership structure as well, isn't there? The likes of Mark Bresciano and Vince Grella, of course, involved with the Pelligra Group and their football holdings. Stan Lazaridis, their former Socceroo teammate, getting involved. Well played, Johnny Katrumbas, again getting the better of Traore. Gorman comes short. Oh, as Taggart looks beyond him to see who was making that run to the back post. Unfortunately, there was no one there.
And they're the moments I'm talking about with Perth. They just have to have a better end product.
Well, they've had little half opportunities, haven't they? On the counter attack in those transition moments we mentioned. As that ball's gone out of play. All been dealt with as well by Damien De Silva so far. Morland can't get it past Ryan Teague. Mashash with Bremer. Just lifts the ball over towards Adama Traore. Bremer's pass kicks out Mashash. He releases Arzani. The early cross. Fornaroli's there again. And he could so easily have had his second against his former club.
Once again, that combination, Daniel Arzani down the right-hand side. Great ball from Jake Bremer to set them on their way. And I think Bruno Fornaroli's just looking for a little bit too much precision there to tuck it inside the far post. It was the right idea, there's no doubt about that.
He found the space a little too easily though, didn't he?
He certainly did. He shouldn't need to be warned more than half a time when it comes to Bruno Fornaroli, giving him space inside the box. It's a no-no.
He just stepped off that leading line. All the defenders kept retreating. And Arzani picked him out expertly. Now a corner for Giordano Colli to take for Perth. Towards the back post, Izzo comfortable enough. Taggart was the target.
Deep delivery from Colli on that occasion. Paul Izzo very comfortable under the high ball. Good pair of hands.
Ollie Sale just took a moment to bring the ball under control. Here's Arzani now. Fornaroli, who was coming back from an offside position.
Well, he received the ball with a great opportunity to drive at the defence straight away. Daniel Arzani, it looked like he just hesitated for a moment, maybe summing up the situation. All of a sudden he was under pressure that he didn't need to be under. He's been lively first half, Arzani, down the right-hand side.
Benny, the cross. That was a good delivery into that dangerous area between keeper and his defence, but Izzo came out with authority that time. Mashash at times playing up alongside Fornaroli as a second striker in the victory side without the ball. That looks like a 4-4-2 with the ball, like a 2-4-4 if you like. Here's Falami, just couldn't wrap the left boot around it.
And again, it's just an example, another example of Victory's combination play around the box. The ball speed, the one-touch football, the understanding. It's been very impressive in the opening 40 minutes. I would argue they should have more to show for it on the scoreboard.
Osler with the switch of players. We're about to enter the last 5 minutes of first half regulation time. Latchman, gotta be careful, he goes all the way back to Ollie Sale. Jeka Dumney with Latchman again. Little touch for Colli. Warland. Then they're closed down and That press has won the throw for Melbourne Victory.
Yeah, it's a good press from Victory. They set themselves up well. Waited for Perth Glory to play into the area that they wanted to go and press.
Good ball conservation from Mashash, who wants it back from Traore. Here's Teague with Falami. Brimmer. There's plenty of movement. Doubling up, little 1-2s, trying to tease out Perth Glory.
The central area is, again, that inverted position. Opens a space for Ozani on the right-hand side.
And the cross is a great one to the back post. Took out Ollie Sale. But unfortunately, just runs out behind for a goal kick.
If there is one criticism of Victory in this first half, you think 60% possession, 6 attempts to 2 on goal, 2 of those on target. It is moments like that. They've got all the enterprising play in midfield, create the opportunity to then threaten the Perth Glory goal. There's nothing on the end of it. While Perth only remain 1 in arrears on the scoreboard, they're a chance of getting themselves back into this game.
Especially when you look at their results so far this season. Kamal can't get on to the end of that lofted ball over the top. Miranda just casually rolling the ball into the feet of Traore, who in turn finds the right back Guerrier. Lazani, who's seen a lot of the football in the first half, but Victory have seen a lot of the football. They've had all their main men on the ball a lot of the time. Mashash and Arzani in particular, Jake Brimmer has seen a lot of the ball as well. Traore looks back post now towards Falami, the header out, Mashash just couldn't bring it under control. Gio Colli can do that.
But again, that was the left fullback, Adama Traore, playing a switcher play to the left wing position. Come all the way across the right hand side, receive the ball from Guerrier.
I guess that's why we see Izzo coming out and sweeping so often as well, because you may see the effects of it up the pitch, but it also has ramifications at the back as well.
Cost fee benefit.
Taggart's glancing header will run out of play for a goal kick. It's been pretty slim pickings so far for Adam Taggart. Up front for Perth Glory. A couple of half chances. He's been involved, as he always is, in the lead-up play and build-up play around the halfway line. Traore with Miranda. Izzo again. Brimmer. You can see the press coming from Perth, but Melbourne Victory expertly playing their way through it.
Fantastic Melbourne Victory, and one of the keys to that was the starting positions in their structure and build-up. Allowed them to play out under pressure.
Traore under pressure, and this time a little too casual perhaps from Victory. They'd stop moving the ball, so you invite the press, and if you get stuck in possession, easy to dispossess, as that's a loose pass from Majeka Dumni.
Exactly right, that was a tale of both ends of the spectrum, wasn't it? We saw them play out under pressure brilliantly by keeping the ball moving. Once you stop the ball moving, press is allowed to be effective. It's 2 handfuls. Jostler's shirt in Mashash's hands.
Doesn't mind a foul, Zinedine Mashash. 1 minute of stoppage time at the end of this first half. It's been a flowing match of football. Just 5 fouls apiece. It's the nod down by Katrumbas. Claimed by Izzo. Will there be time for one more foray forward for the home side? And nearly twice as many final third entries as well to go with their 6 shots to 2. Melbourne victory. Fornaroli.
That's just brilliant. Fornaroli, gee whiz, the way he used his body under pressure in a tight situation there to keep possession, then pick a pass. Outstanding.
The last chance of this first half is probably going to fall for Perth Glory. Can they find an equaliser? Kamau. Gorman with Osler. Dinks it over the top for Katrumbas. Oh, just when it needed to be driven hard and low across the face. It's scooped high and beyond everyone. The last touch of the first half is a disappointing one. It was, for long periods, a pretty tough afternoon for the away side, Perth Glory, who fell behind in the 16th minute. Bruno Fornaroli's 16th of the season. He's applauded off. But Perth Glory did show that on transition, they can carve out the odd little half a chance. It hasn't been the case so far, but we know they finish matches strongly. Half-time at Amy Park. Melbourne victory 1, Perth Glory 0. And we will be right back after this ad break with all the half-time show.
So talk to your kids about who really means and scared you up on the big screen. The conversation started. Lovely game. Not the oldest offense representatives. Victorian responsible for the Evergreen Foundation. Have you heard of
This year's Alex Tobin Medal is brought to you by Isuzu Ute, awarded to the best player of the season as nominated by the Paramount ANZ football team. The winner of the prestigious award will receive $10,000. Plus, the Isuzu Ute Alex Tobin medalist will nominate a junior football club of choice to win a brand new, top-of-the-range Isuzu D-Max or 7-seat MUX to be announced during the grand final. To stay in touch with the leaderboard, tune in for weekly updates at your home of football.
Just goes to show you guys that when you're distracted on your phone, you can't really pay attention to what you're doing. Cheeky says balls, I can kick the ball up right behind over here as well. It's your second distraction on the pitch, not just your game.
About a 2-second distraction on the road across the line.
Gambling seems like a game to kids. Constant TV advertisement implies all adults bet the sport and that everyone wins. But that's not true. Gambling adds in that conditioning kids to start betting and pursue the right. Prepare them for the future, that's what I'm talking now. About how gambling works and who really wins. Love the game, not the odds.
It's a cracking shot from the...
You could say traders and music conductors, orchestrators and sound instruments, overseeing every movement.
Welcome back to Amy Park, where Alan Stajic and his bench are chasing the game. They've dipped in to the substitutes during the half-time break. Jared Carluccio has come on at half-time. It looks like for Trent Osler at the break. Duggan, Gorman, Colley, Benny all still there. Osler's still there as well, in fact. And so it's Bruce Kamau who's made way for Jared Carluccio at half-time. That header behind by Riley Wallen means that it's immediately Melbourne victory onto the front foot. Phil Moss, the Perth Glory side, who we know finished strongly, but they're going to need to once again today.
They certainly are. As we said in the first half, Robbie, they've scored more goals in the second half than any other side in the A-League. 28 of their 38 in total come in the second half, so Melbourne victory will be aware of that, no doubt.
Here's Brimmer, who just clips the ball to the back post with Falami. Victory straight onto the front foot. Falami with Brimmer again. Brimmer hits it through a crowd. Ollie Sale would have seen it late, and he made sure of it at the second attempt.
Brilliant first touch from Brimmer. Look at that. He just sucks the defender in by letting the ball run across his body. And then his technique allows him to put the ball in a great position for him to strike it on goal with his left foot. Didn't quite get the direction he was probably looking for to put it either side of Ollie Sale. A good early opening nonetheless.
Here's Fornaroli again with Arzani. As you can see, the Perth lineup at the bottom of your screens there. Arzani just losing his footing for a moment. It's back with Ollie Sale. Oh, that clearance is not the best. Arzani can't take full advantage. Gorman can't win it back, and as he hurt himself in that challenge with Brimmer as well, as Mashash is told to get back to his feet. We've got a couple of players limping out there at the moment as well.
Suffice to say, Mashash doesn't agree with that decision. Riley Wallen just holding his ground. Reasonably happy with that decision from referee Ben Abraham.
Jekka Dumni under pressure from Fornaroli. In the end, forces it long. It'll be an easy one for Roderick Miranda. Paul Izzo with Damien De Silva.
It's a good example of a defensive structure starting from the front. The work that Bruno Fornaroli just did then. And the youngster, Jekka Dumni, just putting enough pressure on him to force the error. The wayward pass that gave his team possession.
Arzani, little flick for Guerrier. Comes short again. Turns away. Victor with plenty of numbers forward at the moment. Perth with plenty of numbers back. Teague, he hits it. And again, Ollie Sale is called into action. Arzani again, stepping away. Mashash, lovely first touch to tame the ball over the top. Couldn't hit it from the angle and apologises to Fornaroli, who was waiting in the middle.
Another great example as we see that left foot strike from Ryan Teague from outside the box. They're just really probing now Melbourne victory. They'll know how important it is to take one of these chances to get that 2-goal buffer and go on with it. And Perth Glory, it's batten down the hatches at the moment.
And already 3 shots at goal in this second half in the opening 4 minutes for Melbourne victory. And De Silva is able to turn and run that along his own 6-yard box and find Traore. Teague Fornaroli, it's a good challenge from Majeka Dumni. Miranda with Brimmer, Teague. It's good football again from Victory. Mashash turns away from trouble. Brimmer, he looks up, big switch of play. Pinpoint stuff for Arzani. Guerria's run just went a little too early.
Yeah, he just showed too much of it, Arzani. He almost could have used that run from Guerria as a decoy then. He's dragging defenders with him, but some excellent football from Melbourne Victory, playing out of tight areas, and then the switch of play from Brimmer onto the toe of Arzani. Sight to behold.
Carluccio. That's a good challenge from Jake Brimmer. Now Izzo looks up immediately towards Mashash. First time header for Fornaroli. Just trying to catch out the defence with something a little bit different. Zinedine Mashash.
If there's anyone who's got that little bit different in their locker, it is Mashash. He's been a wonderful addition to the A-League. Really has, and he adapted very quickly as well. This is in no small part why Melbourne Victory, no doubt, has added a couple of years to his contract.
Well, some of the greatest teams in the history of football have had a Zinedine in them.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Mashash, who was named after the great Zizou. Oh, was his Taggart able to shoot the follow-up from Carluccio, and he probably should have done better. Adam Taggart, who can provide that danger, and Carluccio that should have finished it.
Well, that is the moment that almost made Alan Stadgic a genius as a coach. Had Carluccio scored with almost his first touch off the bench, it would have been instant impact. And you're right, I think he should have done better. He was in a great position to get his body over that, head the ball down. Therein lies another warning for Melbourne Victory. Only one goal to the good. Doesn't take much for Perth Glory to get themselves back in the game.
And now Fornaroli able to find a little bit of space with Brimmer. Jared Carluccio, who is on loan from Western Sydney Wanderers, was originally only on loan until the end of January with the likes of Ollie Bozanic. As here's Mashash again, driving into the area. So good at shielding the ball. No one allowed to get a touch. Now Arzani's cross is brilliant, and Fornaroli's header is every bit as much. Bruno Fornaroli strikes again, and Melbourne Victory have got their two-goal cushion that their start to the second half probably deserves.
Bruno's back, baby. There he is, ghosting in at the far post. Brilliant delivery from Arzani on the Harvey Norman replay. He just guides it into an area that he knows Fornaroli's on his way to attack. Look at that, great trajectory, great tail, very little height on it, perfectly placed for Bruno Fornaroli to do what Bruno Fornaroli does, and that is find the back of the opposition net for his second goal of the afternoon.
Mashash again involved. It was his initial run into the box which sowed that panic at the back. 17 this season now for Bruno Fornaroli. An assist number 6 of the campaign for Daniel Arzani.
Well, he played a key role in the first goal, Daniel Arzani, with that improvisation. He's played an even more important role in the second goal. But you're right, Mashash, his ability to hold the ball in tight areas and not panic and keep possession and bring someone else into the play was key, absolutely key to that goal.
Roderick Miranda, a good run forward. Arzani, Brimmer takes over, inviting Guerria forward, the cross to the back post. Falami can't get onto it. And the changes coming from Alan Stajic. Josh Rawlins, who was rested at kickoff, is coming on. Gorman is replaced by David Williams, and Katrumbas comes off for Rawlins. Rawlins, who netted his first ever A-League goal since he's been back for his second spell at Perth Glory. Arrived on loan from Utrecht in the Netherlands, where played a lot for the second team, or the youth team, the Utrecht Jong as it's known, last season, but not so much this term either. So decided to come back to try and... Oh, there's Carluccio trying to make amends for that missed header earlier. Pinging the ball goalward from a tight angle.
It was a fantastic ball from Osler, and I think there's a bit of a deflection.
Riley Morland, in fact.
A bit of deflection, I think, takes it onto the crossbar. Almost caught Paul Izzo out.
He just got his fingertips to it, onto perhaps over the crossbar. It was heading right towards that top corner. Now Riley Warland, near post, turned behind by Teague. It wasn't his intention. Teague, another who's returned from Europe this season to play in the A-League, and has made a fantastic return as Izzo with a strong punch away. Carluccio's got there ahead of Falami. Latchman, his control lets him down, and Guerrier clears. Gio Colley back with Rawlins, his first touch since coming on, and a first touch for Williams as well. We won't spend too much time at right back as he goes charging forward immediately. Well, we'll see what the substitutions can do in terms of lifting this Perth side, but it's victory. That one will just run away from Fornaroli from Arzani.
I have to say, he's been very good today, Arzani. At both ends of the pitch, he's actually done his work defensively as well. He's so dangerous in possession.
Carluccio and Williams exchanging passes, but it was Brimmer and Teague that came out on top. Roderick Miranda back with Izzo. Already you can see Perth trying to play higher up the pitch. Oh, Williams has almost charged that down. Brimmer helps it on its way forward. Well played, Majeka Dumni. It's a steep learning curve when you're in one of your first matches up against Bruno Fornaroli, and he's doing pretty well. Traore gets another bite at the cherry, the cross back in. Falami a little too hot for him to handle. Guerrier gets there though, with Brimmer. Falami again, oh, almost picked out Brimmer, who still somehow recovers possession. Perth need to work a little bit harder here. Traore hits it, deflected behind corner. Fans making plenty of noise behind the goal. Ollie Sale screaming instructions as Guerrier finally gets picked up. In it comes, Sale comes and punches dangerously, only as far as Jake Brimmer, who tried to bend it, but it's always wide of the mark. Perth Glory making another change, and it's going to be Giordano Colli who makes way for Mustafa Amini, just on the hour mark. So he's got one more card up his sleeve, Alan Stantage, but that's 4 changes now and 2 windows used right on the hour mark.
And when you're chasing the game, Joel Anasmo has shown off the bench that he can be a real excitement machine, score goals. He's been part of a couple of late shows in Perth.
Lightning quick as well. The tall, lanky striker. That's nice play for Carluccio. Oh, he's done brilliantly. The cross for Daniel Benny. He has his first A-League goal, and perhaps more importantly, he's given Perth a lifeline here. Does the late show start now?
Well, they're not the late show specialists for no reason. This is some wonderful football from Perth Glory and some sloppy defending from Melbourne Victory, it has to be said. On the Harvey Norman replay, that was absolutely key there. Jared Carluccio just letting De Silva go to ground and delaying his delivery. That was absolutely key to putting it on a platter for Daniel Benny, who makes no mistake from point-blank range to get his side back into this game.
I'll tell you what, there haven't been too many players that have put Damien De Silva to ground and then just casually gone around him this season either. One of the best defenders in the business, made to look a little bit average there by Jared Carluccio.
That's right. First of all, the piercing pass that opened up the Melbourne Victory defence, and then a defender of De Silva's experience going to ground. Carluccio showed some real smarts to capitalise on that.
Questions being asked of Melbourne Victory. Can they respond? Rawlins just got a toe onto that ball, sends it behind for another corner. Oh, Phil Moss mentioned the 28 of 38 goals scored in the second half. That's now 22 of 39 that have come in the last half hour of matches. They keep it late. They score more than any other side in these final minutes. And if you were Melbourne Victory supporters, you'd be a little bit worried now. A third goal would certainly help settle any of those nerves, but look out. Here come Perth Glory again. Riley Warland, Carluccio, Taggart, Amini all forward. It's a good ball for Mustafa Amini, who hits it. Blocked by Izzo. And again, Benny there again, deflected. Up in the air and claimed by Paul Izzo.
Strap yourselves in. We are in for a wonderful last half an hour. If the last 5 minutes is anything to go by, Perth Glory, look at that. Streaming forward, Mustafa Amini, great first touch. A venomous second touch, and then Daniel Benny, but for the numbers that Victory were able to get back, probably could have had his second goal of the afternoon.
Well, he's had an outstanding season, Daniel Benny. It was the goal, really, that was the only thing that was missing. Born in 2006. It's his 18th birthday in a couple of weeks' time.
Just brilliant.
He's a big boy for 17 as well.
Certainly is. He's got real footballer's legs. He knows where to be and when to be there. Just needs that consistency that will come the more football he plays at this level. Thanks to our cameraman for getting a close-up of those footballers' legs I was just referring to. But you get the feeling that Melbourne Victory are going to have to put Perth away to get the 3 points this afternoon. Perth will throw everything, including the kitchen sink at them.
The question is, can they keep them out? And Bruno Fornaroli in particular. He's already got 2 4-goal hauls this season, Bruno. When he scores a couple, there's nothing to say he's not going to keep going.
Oh, desperately unlucky there. He rose like a salmon at the back post. I was just waiting for the net to bulge then. Just couldn't quite get the direction on it that he was looking for.
Here goes Benny again. Looks up and crosses, cleared by Miranda. Osler with Carluccio, already provided 1 assist. Carluccio, oh, he's gone down. Ben Abraham points to the ball. And Daniel Arzani brings it away. Again, great stuff back to goal from Bruno Fornaroli.
He's still coming away with the ball, despite the heavy-handedness of the 2 Perth Glory defenders, Latchman and Amini. Look at that, he just knows how to use that body of his. Might not be huge in stature, but what's between his ears is just phenomenal.
Arzani with Teague.
We saw Arzani, sorry Robbie, we saw Arzani take the ball off the toe of Carluccio just before inside his own box. That's just another example of the defensive work that he's done today. It was intelligent, it was well timed, he had to be there to defend for his side. To say he comes in for his criticism defensively at times, Arzani, today he's been very good at both ends.
There he is again, giving Garrier the option to play out from the back. Space for Brimmer. And now with the Adama Traore, Mashash wants it. In a little pocket of space, Arzani comes again. And this is what they've done so well, Melbourne Victory, is have players that are looking for the ball. Players always offering an option to their teammates, hungry for possession. Rawlins doing the job on Arzani, and it's Perth who come away with it though. Williams looking for Taggart. It was a good idea, but it was better read by De Silva than it was by Taggart in the end. Osler with Benny. David Williams again. Fornaroli back doing the defending as well. Osler closing down Arzani. Oh, but he skipped past him again. And the free kick is given as again Arzani's frustration coming out there.
He's been completely manhandled there. That was the foul that wasn't given. This is the foul that was given. Either way, the common denominator.
Oh, let's look out, here's Mashash. He goes again, Zinedine Mashash still looking for the Rabona cross. He's an entertainer, isn't he?
Oh, he is, and they are in the mood to entertain this afternoon. Tony Popovic, it's about as close as you get to seeing him with a smile on his face, enjoying the football that his team's playing. Look at that, absolutely brilliant. Almost executed to perfection.
Couple of changes coming for Tony Popovic as well, as this corner comes in. The header from Majeka Dumni. Amini helps it on its way, but there's nobody breaking forward this time for Perth. They've got to make sure they don't concede a third as much as they need to score a second or a third themselves at the moment. Brimmer, good ball, but Rawlins covering well. Bonavazia and Jordi Valadon coming on. Valadon, who's hoping to be himself part of that Holyrood squad that will travel to the Under-23 Asian Cup. It's Jake Brimmer who's coming off. Oh, it's Ryan Teague. It is the pair of them who are making way, so it's a new midfield for Tony Popovic's side. That Asian Cup, by the way, for those not aware, it's not a FIFA window, so clubs have to release their players while they'll still be playing, and there's a number of A-League clubs that are going to be heavily hit right at a very important part of the season, because it starts on the 14th of April in 2 weeks' time, and the final is on the 4th of May, which is finals football already. And we're certainly hoping the Olyroos go at least to the semi-finals, which will mean qualification for the top 3 and a playoff match for 4th place against an African side will qualify for the Olympics. So it's a double reward if they can go all the way in that Asian Cup. And here's another player hoping to be a part of it, Josh Rawlins. He wasn't called up for the recent Olyroos squad, but he's back in Australia looking to stake his claim.
A delivery like that will do his cause no harm. It's also critically important we qualify for those Olympics. Tony Vidmar doing a great job with the Olyroos, but it's been proven time and time again, such a higher percentage of players go onto the Socceroos if they play at those major tournaments.
Down in front of those Perth supporters, it's in from Amini, it's punched clear. Carluccio, oh, has that come off the arm of Bonavazia? Now, what's the referee said there? Is it a free kick? Just outside the box.
Yeah, it was just outside the box on first inspection. Very close, but I'm happy that's outside the box without the side on view. Leaves the ground, Bonavazia inside the box, but pretty happy that he's outside when there's connection.
It looks very close, doesn't it?
Very close.
VAR having a look. He's saying it's near his body. I think it would be a little bit harsh to take that. I mean, it's bounced up and hit his arm, which is quite close to his body. And now they're looking to see if it's right on the line. Well, they're setting themselves for the free kick, but they might not be able to have a wall in a moment. Melbourne victory. Well, they can't quite believe it now.
By drama.
Now this is being reviewed for a possible penalty, which, now does that mean it is inside the box and we're seeing if it's a penalty then?
I think it, yes.
So it is inside the box. There you can see it.
My goodness. What a big moment. I did put the rider on it, Robbie. I needed to see the side on view. From that angle there.
And it's just bounced off Carluccio's foot straight up into the arm. Well, it's inside the box, it's hit the arm. The referee initially gave a free kick.
Well, now I guess the decision is the arm in an unnatural position.
I think the referee said it's going to be a drop ball. Well, Rolly Bonavazia breathes a little more easily. No handball. Well, if it had been outside the box, it would have been a free kick, because the referee gave it. It wouldn't have been looked at again, and it would have been a great scoring opportunity for Perth. As it stands, it'll be a drop ball. Who for in this situation, I wonder? Adam Taggart wants a little clarification. Adam Taggart saying, well, we'll take the free kick then.
Can we wind the clock back? Well, that's very interesting, isn't it? Because the handball had been given, which you can only assume was because the arm was in an unnatural position. At that stage, outside the box, then it comes inside the box and the handball's not given.
Well, I don't think he even knows where the ball is, to be fair, Bonavazia.
That's right. Dare we go down that rabbit hole, Robbie? Dare we do it? Let's not.
Well, we're back underway, so no need to now. Launched long by Izzo, and here Here's Bonavazia on the ball. You can hear all the players screaming for it. Falami back with Bonavazia, who looks up and strikes it. And it's a brilliant save from Ollie Sale, who not for the first time is tested from distance.
Wouldn't that have been a fairy tale for Rolly Bonavazia? From one end, which was almost a penalty, to the other end, nearly picking up the top corner of Ollie Sale's goal. Now, Alan Stajic looks like he's got himself into the bad books with Ben Abraham.
Well, he's already served one suspension for yellow cards this season. Alan Stajic. It's another yellow card for DeSantis. Oh! Everyone's standing around looking at it, and it was Roderick Miranda who went and got the ball. Bonavazia again, behind for a corner off Osler. Oh, what a 5 minutes it's been for Rolly Bonavazia since he came on.
Stage is saying I said one word.
As in it comes. The header from Mashash towards the back post. Fornaroli. Oh, he's managed to get there first, but just can't quite keep it in play.
That for me should be a goal kick. I think the ball, as we're seeing.
Well, this is Osler from that moment earlier when he got hit in the head and looked a bit groggy. Looks all right.
Yeah, looks like he's rubbing that right eye.
Got themselves in a muddle there, Perth Glory, and have conceded another corner.
They have, and this could be a decisive moment, because I thought Bruno Fornaroli had run that ball out over the byline and should have been a Perth Glory goal kick rather than a throw in. Now we have a victory corner.
In it comes, near post, the little flick again is clever from Mashash. Majeka Dumni gets it clear. The victory players getting in each other's way. They're so hungry to get on the ball. Mashash again. Arzani, the little one too. Mashash, the cross into the body of Trent Osler.
It was a good return pass from Arzani to Mashash. I thought Arzani could have turned himself, actually. Seemed to have a little bit more space than what he even realised he had. Nevertheless, victory just tightening the screws a little bit.
Bonavazia, the ball in, claimed by Ollie Sale, who's looking for a quick release. They're going to have to build from the back. They've given Victory the chance to get back and get organised. As we have a look for the moment, Victory holding on to what will be a crucial 3 points. They're closing up behind the Central Coast Mariners, who still have that game in hand, despite their loss yesterday evening to Sydney FC. MacArthur will be looking to go with them in the final match of this round of 22, but there's A-League football nearly every night this week. MacArthur take on the Wanderers tomorrow, a public holiday Monday with a 3 p.m. kickoff time. Then Tuesday, the Mariners are in action against Melbourne City. Wednesday, Sydney FC take on Perth Glory. Thursday, you can do the shopping. And then Friday, we start again. One over the top. Mashash for Valadon. They've got another corner. In fact, goal kick this time.
Some of their combination play in tight areas this afternoon from Melbourne Victory. It's been a real feature of their performance today. Incredible to watch.
So Nishan Valupale comes on for Ben Falami, and Chris Economides another of the former Perth brigade in Melbourne Victory, comes on for Zinedine Mashash, who was again at his mercurial best this afternoon for nearly 80 minutes. Chris Economides, who scored 16 in 41 matches for Perth. Now that final change coming for Perth Glory as well. Riley Warland has gone off on the far side of the pitch, and Phil Moss, as you predicted, Joel Anasmo, who is a very dangerous player in these final minutes of matches when Perth have been chasing the game, has come on again.
Well, this is a wonderful pass from Daniel Arzani. And it's Fornaroli and I think Valupile just got their wires crossed.
Arzani. As Taggart goes looking for it, it's Economides who's got it back. Valupile into the feet of Valadon. Back outside with Traore. Little back heel from Valadon, can't find a taker. Amini with Josh Rawlins, who's switched to left back, it looks. Daniel Benny back for Rawlins, but it's a very clever challenge from Guerrier. Read Rawlins' intentions perfectly. Valupile with Guerrier again. Fornaroli trying to dictate the tempo now as he comes deeper. Arzani can't control. Well, 7 shots against 13, 3 on target against 6, but Perth Glory are just a goal behind. And if you see there, their expected goals, they've had some great chances. I think that Jared Carluccio header will account for a fair bit of that.
When you look at those expected goals, just like this run.
There's Anasmo. Williams lets it run indeed. Into the feet. Oh, it might yet fall. Amini, Taggart, and then Anasmo all involved.
They can't afford to fall asleep at the wheel, Melbourne Victory. Perth will come. They will keep coming. Look at the numbers they've got in the box there. They're not shy. Joel Anasmo, we know, is capable. If we look at those expected goals for Perth Glory, 1.57. They've outpaced their expected goals this season by 3.96, which is top in the A-League. Warning, warning, Melbourne Victory.
Amini's ball to the back post where Taggart was peeling off. He gives chase. Anasmo, oh, Economides, that was an important challenge there. Of course, of that 1.57, it is Daniel Benny that accounts for most of that. It was 0.92, which means 92 times out of 100 the player scores from where Daniel Benny scored, which I think we'd all pretty much concur with. Here's Rawlins. The cross in, just overhit, but again it had a nice shape on it.
Victory can't afford to slip in the mindset of holding on to this 2-1 lead. They need to keep playing and give away less transition moments because Perth are getting more and more dangerous.
Arzani has created 5 scoring chances in this match. They need probably one more to be finished off, just to put this one to bed with 5 minutes to go, and even then, you never know with this Perth side. Valupile, here is Arzani with Valadon. Back with Traore. Valadon again. Carluccio, who's doing a shift at right back at the moment, has just been caught there by Valadon. Another corner to follow. Yeah, he's just stepped on the inside of that right ankle. A painful one. Bonavazia, the last one was claimed by Ollie Sale. In it comes again near post, and it's claimed again by Ollie Sale. Victory, and their fans think it's gone out of play. Miranda's gone down now. Amini with a Nasmo. As Perth try to break forward. That's a good ball for Taggart. Not a bad first touch either. And De Silva, strong as ever in the challenge. And again, Victory managed to play their way out of a tricky situation. That's clever. Valadon releasing Economides. Only Valupale forward. Players starting to slip and slide about as well. Bonavazia with Traore. Now Arzani. De Silva, it was another crucial challenge from him. Fornaroli and his double leading the Paramount Plus player index. Arzani and his contributions to both goals have him there as well. Brimmer and Guerrier, and then Daniel Benny celebrating his first ever A-League goal in the top 5 as it stands, but there is plenty of time for that to change, as well as the scoreline. Oh, Arzani, what a chance that was.
And what a great piece of defending from Majeka Dumni as well. He put his body on the line. He got the timing just right, as we see Valupale with his trickery. Opens a chance for Arzani, who needed to lift the ball. He went low, and that gave Majeka Dumni the opportunity to interject. You still get the feeling, Robbie, that Melbourne Victory need to put this to bed.
Well, set pieces this season haven't necessarily been their easiest route to goal. Arzani looking for Guerrier. It's a good defensive header from Rawlins. And the referee has to stop play. Oh, as Bonavazia goes sliding through a Nasmo. Just 8 goals from set pieces this season, 4 of them from the penalty spot. 3 from corners, as Rawlins, it's come off right off the top of his head, I think.
Yeah, there was no contact from Guerrier. From the looks of things on Rawlins. I think it was just getting the ball hitting him in the wrong part of the head.
Yeah. That's the 3rd time we've seen Perth Glory players hit where it looks like it's really knocked them about today.
You can think they're lucky stars. They may be seeing some stars as well, but they're not the old style leather balls with the lacing on them.
Not waterlogged. Weighs about 3.5 kilos. That was back in your day, wasn't it, Mossy?
It's something like that.
Rawlins is asking to rejoin. I think he's been allowed back on. Abraham giving him the thumbs up. He'll have to scurry to get back in there because Valupale's on the front foot. The cut back. Arzani. Daniel Arzani. Brilliant stop from Ollie Sale. Not for the first time this evening. He would have seen that very late.
Yeah, it was a good save, a smart save from Ollie Sale. See, Daniel Arzani's performance this afternoon deserves a goal. He's got a very good goalkeeper between him and that result, though.
That's going to be a throw-in for Melbourne Victory. Jason Guerrier to take. We're into the last 60 seconds of regular time. Corner. Again, it was Bruno Fornaroli doing what he does best, protecting the ball. Throw throwing himself about. Izzo watching on the ball a long way from his goal. He'll be hoping he's done enough work this evening to get the 3 points as well. It's taken short. Velupile. Oh, Velupile's just run that straight into trouble in the form of Amini. And he's won it back, but illegally, a yellow card for Nishan Velupile.
Well, you can't fault his intent there, Velupile, to recover the mistake. He's done it illegally, to your point, Robbie. I think at this stage of the game, he'll take the yellow card.
The first yellow card of the contest in the 91st minute for a player. Alan Stajic beat him to that by about 14 minutes. 5 minutes of stoppage time. 5 minutes for Perth Glory, who have been outplayed for large passages of this match, but are still right in the contest. Rawlins against Arzani. Well played, Daniel Arzani. To your point earlier, Mossy back doing the defensive duty.
Yeah, his intent today has been very good. Arzani's quality's been good as well. Gee, 5 minutes, Robbie, I feel ripped off. The way this game's been this afternoon, I was hoping for at least 8 or 9 minutes. Selfishly, of course.
Just keep it going.
That's it.
Arzani helped to his feet. It will be his final contribution as he applauds the crowd, and it will be Selim Khalifi, whose rather controversial loan move from Perth Glory to Melbourne Victory was completed right when Perth Glory was still without new ownership during the January transfer window. Perth Glory managed to hold on to Jared Carluccio on loan, but not Oli Bozanic, as I mentioned earlier, and not in particular Selim Khalifi, the Tunisia international. Velupile. That's just going to roll out for a goal kick. Khalifi, who has 1 goal this season, it came for Perth Glory, funnily enough, against MacArthur. There's confirmation of that second yellow card for a Victory player. It's Paul Izzo for taking too much time. Valadon, they're looking to play it too tight at the moment. Victory, it's been one of the features of their game, but sometimes has got them in trouble.
No way! No way! No fucking way!
We know how Jared Carluccio felt about that decision.
Well, I thought it did come off Majeka Dumbi last, actually, so sometimes in the heat of the battle. Alan Stajic is still having words with the 4th official, Jack Morgan. Now they've got it clear, but not for long. Economides with Velupile. Nishan Velupile. And his goal counter remains on 2 for the season.
Oh, his eyes lit up then, Velupile. He wriggled, twisted, turned his way into some space. He knew exactly what he wanted to do by bending it into that back post area. Just needed a little bit more composure at the key moment.
Darryl Latchman back with Ollie Sale. The 5 minutes of stoppage time has raced by. Certainly if you're a Perth Glory supporter. There's just 60 seconds left.
That's plenty of time for one more big chance, which end it'll be at. Which team will take it?
Rawlins with Benny. Now Amini. Daniel Benny again. Is his first ever A-League goal going to count for a point? Majeka Dumni. His cross towards Taggart. Repelled by the head of De Silva. Williams was a difficult one. Fornaroli now. Streaming through the middle is Economides. He's a wily old pro, down to every inch of his body, Bruno Fornaroli.
It won't be the popular decision with the crowd. They would have loved to have seen him flash that across the face of goal, but it was a smart decision.
Ollie Sale almost got himself in trouble. The 5 minutes are up. Ben Abraham had a look at the watch. Is there time for one last effort for Perth Glory? Anasmo. He's got Coluccio inside. Anasmo goes again. Adama Traore is there in cover. Bonavazia does well to keep that in play. How much time is the ref going to add on? Victory. Come again. Bonavazia, this time Economidis again making the run, trying to get him behind. Oh, Bonavazia with the goose step. The cross to the back post. Khalifi keeps it in play. Guerrier now. Short. Fornaroli. Valupale. And it's all over. There's no third goal for Melbourne Victory, but they won't mind one iota. They have returned from the international break and got back to winning ways, having conceded that late equaliser last time out against Western United, this time against the fast finishers of Perth Glory, and Daniel Benny's first ever A-League goal, the 17-year-old. It's Melbourne Victory, who are all smiles. Melbourne Victory in the winner's circle, and Melbourne Victory provisionally up to third place, courtesy of Bruno Fornaroli's double, which takes him to 17 for the season. It's finished here at Amy Park. Melbourne Victory 2, Perth Glory 1. Well, Bruno Fornaroli against Adam Taggart. It's him, the Uruguayan-born Socceroo, that comes out on top. How about that moment from Ajeka Dubnik as well, just 19 years of age, taking on Bruno. Brilliant stuff, and they get to discuss their match now. Great to see. Ajeka Dubnik was probably a kid when Fornaroli was there at Perth Glory, the hero and the star. Okay, well, let's head down to Tara Rushton, who's got a post-match interview for us. Tara.
Just finally, of course, you've signed on for 2 more years, you spoke through the week, but what does it feel like for you? You love Melbourne, you love Melbourne Victory, you must be feeling really good at the moment. So well done, see you again soon. Thank you so much. Well done, Sam. And down here with YT, who was speaking to the very first time. I've always wanted about the challenge. It's been an awesome season personally, but tell us about getting the win so important as we've only a few rounds to go.
Yeah, as you reported, I think this one, put the back in a little bit about things like that the season as well.
Tell us about your season and how you're found out there and being a mainstay, playing almost every match. It seems like you're really comfortable inside the 4 walls. What's it been like for you?
Yeah, well, when you have a team who's so comfortable to be around,
Only a few good weeks to go. What's the vibe like? Finish off with another few wins.
yeah, I think every game
demonstration. Can't wait to see you here another week. Make sure if you want to travel down to Melbourne, just take a look at Big Screen now for all of our information as we talk to you about what we do after lunch. If we put that up at some stage. Thank you so